Microsoft is not out of the gaming business or even the console business. In fact, more than ever, they have revamped, realigned, and reinvigorated first-party games, and it all begins with a brand new, more powerful Xbox console planned for 2020 called Project Scarlett. Microsoft has greenlit the Xbox division to build an all-new Xbox, and this time, the next Xbox won't be held back. In fact, it may break the boundaries of what a console can do, and what a gaming PC has just begun to dream. This is Colt Eastwood. Thanks for checking out this video. If you're a returning viewer or you can appreciate Xbox related content without doom and gloom, consider subscribing. If you've been here a while, support the work by joining the channel and you'll get early access to videos. We are a year away from the Xbox Project Scarlett, but a lot of information from reliable sources and specs that align with current AMD tech has been leaked or speculated. So far, much of it seems very reasonable, and if you're okay with educated guesswork mixed with actual hardware info, we're going to discuss what gaming on the next Xbox will be like. There is a lot to cover, so let's get into it. Microsoft is opening the console gaming platform to span across the PC, but all of this means that gaming is more important than just restricting their games to one console. And they haven't stopped there. In order to keep the Xbox console relevant with an agile PC market, the engineers at Microsoft are developing the Xbox Scarlett console that is going to literally chart new paths of what consoles and even desktop PCs can do in the gaming realm. With recent leaks of Scarlett dev kits spending the next year with developers, much more information is out than we'd expect this early on before the official reveal from Microsoft and Xbox. Xbox Project Scarlett, the next generation of consoles, is a true generational leap that in order for us to comprehend the advancement of the tech, we are going to be comparing each component in the Scarlett to the current most powerful console, the Xbox One X. We'll keep the X specs on the left and the Scarlett on the right. Project Scarlett, just like the last generation consoles, is based on a system on chip, a GPU paired with a CPU on one die. The Scarlett is built on a 393mm squared chip codenamed Anubis. At the heart of the Scarlett is a Zen 2 AMD 8-core CPU with 16 threads running at 3.4 GHz. The Xbox One X had 8 Jaguar cores at 2.3 GHz. The Scarlett Zen 2 processor is hyper-threaded, meaning that it can multitask while providing faster performance on virtually every new game. Keep in mind that the Xbox One X sat at the very cusp of performance potential, scaling back to 30 FPS in most big games and leaving tons of graphical headroom left over to render the biggest games like Red Dead Redemption 2 at native 4K. The Scarlett Zen 2 is 1.5 times faster than the X, which is plenty of frequency to get over the 30 FPS hump without taking into account hyper-threading, which allows for more visual benefits without major draws from frame rate, which we'll get into in a minute. 60 FPS is really a standard in gaming, and it doesn't stop there with the Scarlett.
This generation is going to be a bigger leap than any generation we've done before. It's going to usher in resolution and frame rates that we've never seen before,
And AMD's Zen architecture is currently powering high-end desktop PCs. The Scarlett's Zen 2 CPU will be fast enough to handle draw calls at 60 to 120 Hz with power to handle the massive bandwidth of higher resolutions, easily running above 1080p at 120 FPS in some games. The Scarlett takes consoles out of the 30 FPS holdback and transcends Xbox gamers into a set-top box running PC-like visuals with no tweaking, tuning, or compromises to the visuals. This is where the Zen 2 AMD chip becomes even more desirable. The visuals are not only uncompromised, but truly enhanced with DirectX 12, DXR, and Havoc instructions built into the chip. I'll break this down for you, because you're going to experience gaming like you've never seen before on a similarly priced desktop PC. In fact, at this time, at a similarly priced desktop GPU all by itself. The Xbox Scarlett has a built-in ray tracing core for dedicated ray tracing compute to bring reflections, lighting, and dynamic shadows to life in games. Light will interact with the world realistically. Reflections on objects, water, and windows will refract the world and characters, making games more lifelike and more immersive. Havoc physics built into the Zen 2 chip will bring PhysX-like material interaction, particles and materials moving and flowing, all of this possibly combined with high resolutions beyond standard HD and frame rates at 60 FPS and above. Microsoft is pressing for performance being the keystone to the Scarlett generation, high frame rates being the standard across Xbox games on the console. With the Xbox One X, they press 4K and visual clarity, knowing full well that the CPU held back 60 FPS on the biggest games. This time, they know they have a fast, powerful CPU in Zen 2 that no longer bottlenecks the pipeline to bring you visuals with performance. The GPU is easy, raw power, much like the Xbox One X, but new current desktop tech from AMD. The custom Navi 21 is a comparable GPU to Radeon's 5700 XT, a $400 desktop GPU. The custom Navi chipset is built on RDNA technology with ray tracing technology in a console GPU paired with CPU-level DirectX ray tracing. Only available on the latest PC cards. The Navi GPU has 56 compute units at 1623 MHz. To put that into perspective, the Xbox One X had no ray tracing support and ran with 40 compute units at 1172 MHz. Teraflops will not be paraded as a bragging right for the Scarlett, but it will likely be somewhere around 10 teraflops compared to the X's 6. But teraflops never told the whole story. But the Scarlett Navi GPU is roughly 1.4 times faster than the X. Expect 4K to be a standard on most every game, with the option in-game to choose performance over visuals. But don't be surprised if the Scarlett provides both on a ton of games. Currently, the Xbox One X can run a game like Gears 4 or Shadow of the Tomb Raider at dynamic resolutions and high frame rates. The Scarlett being almost 1.5 times more powerful and the CPU that much faster as well will give you high resolutions and high frame rates not possible on a PC anywhere near this price point. Now the Xbox Scarlett has two main objectives: performance with high frame rates, and getting gamers into and keeping them in their games faster with an all-new, never-seen-before delivery system. The X already proved that Xbox engineers could design a console pipeline that uses RAM, memory bandwidth, and an internal conventional hard drive to speed up game delivery and assets with great efficiency, nearly doubling most bandwidths on a 5400 RPM hard drive. For this, I will have to defer to Dealer. If you're not subscribed to Dealer Gaming, he has been correctly and accurately predicting the tech in the consoles for the past few years. Xbox's marketing manager, Aaron Greenberg, told the press that the Xbox Scarlett's solid-state hard drive and memory pipeline makes this possible. Dealer covers the subject the best, and I'm going to let him explain how this hard drive solution will make the Xbox Scarlett do what current PCs cannot.
I think that capability will be something people don't see today. He continues, and then the high-speed instant gaming using solid-state drives. He said doing this will enable something called instant resume. He continues, getting into games and being able to play by removing load times and load screens that exist today. That's going to be a huge change. The way that I'm reading this, you'll be able to play games by removing load times and load screens that exist today, quote unquote. What does that mean? To me, it sounds like there will be no load screens. And you know what? That's not even possible on the PC right now. I had previously speculated that the next Xbox would get around loading times by using the SSD in conjunction with the memory of the actual console. They then confirm a virtual memory pool, which is basically exactly what I'm saying. We then get what I think are some pretty accurate leaks describing an Xbox coming out next year that has an insane amount of GDDR6. Along with this super fast memory on the motherboard comes a super quick cache on the SSD itself, dedicated to games. According to these leaks, it's anywhere from 32 to 64 gigabytes available on the hard drive itself to help complement the onboard memory. So you're looking at a console in 2020 that can likely hold most all, if not the entire game in the RAM space of the console. That's both GDDR6 and the flexible memory from the hard drive. Now, if they do this correctly and are able to implement bandwidth comparable to that of PCI Express 4.0, but in a console, if they decide to max that bandwidth out, they can effectively remove these load screens.
Dealer is referring to 24 gigabytes of GDDR6 running at 560 gigabits per second, compared to the Xbox One X's 12 gigabytes, half of that, of GDDR5 RAM running at 300 gigabits per second. An upgrade of 2 times of memory with up to 64 gigs of RAM available into PCI Express, much like M2 solid-state memory right on the board for quick caching and retrieval. I'm linking Dealer's video below where he elaborates perfectly how this memory and SSD solution will essentially eliminate load times, get you into games immediately from a cold start, and get your character in and out of fast travel in less than a few seconds, keeping you immersed in the world until you stop playing. Load times are decreased over 90%, cutting 30-second load times down to less than 3 seconds. Meaning developers no longer have to hide loading world assets behind canned animations, door openings, or elevator rides. And like Dealer said, there is nothing like this, even currently on PC. These are just all bonuses in an already feature-packed next-generation console. We are still about 6 months away from the official reveal of Xbox Scarlett specs from Microsoft, and with enough dev kits out with major studios and enough information leaked along with AMD's information of Zen and Navi architecture, we can already plan out next generation being a major leap, not only for the Xbox One X, but for gaming on console and PC alike. This is Colt Eastwood. Thank you so much for watching. I want to take this time to thank Dealer Gaming for helping me with my channel and being featured in this video with his expertise. I've watched his channel close for about 3 years and he's continually predicted tech on consoles with amazing accuracy, and I'll leave a link for his video further explaining the solid state hard drive solution and his channel so you can subscribe and watch his weekly content. If you enjoyed this video, show your support by liking and subscribing. Join the channel if you'd like to support my work further. Follow me on Xbox and Twitter at Colt Eastwood. I'll see you in the comment section. I'm pretty sure I'll see a million people say, what good is power with no games? But those people aren't really paying attention anyway, so I'll be talking to the rest of you. And for those of you who can't help yourselves and still bash a console or a platform that you don't play on, remember, be nice.